Today I'm going. Well, today you guys can pick and you guys can vote on which new Star Wars ship in the micro world do you want me to build next. I already built the Hammerhead Corvette, Korean Corvette 1 and its missile frigate, the X-Wings CIS vehicles, giant monsters, and do note, I'm going to be making these much more better. Right. New update. So I got concrete. Though I have to admit coal is pretty useful for the vacuum and space environment. There is a mm, there is a YouTuber I just to you guys. It could be let me think. Now I remember. He did the video followed. He did videos on Fallen Quatria. One of them I really like. Heck, Fallen Quatria Project Horizons was my first entry into the Fallen Quatria thing. It kind of struck me at odd at first, but once I started listening to stories and actually looked into what the character looked like either on DeviantArt or other things, I immediately liked this stuff. Because it paced itself and it's not above going stuff, which I find it prepared to go into the nitty and gritty side stuff, but not like, say, a video game where published by EA, where it's like swanning about trying to catch your attention, like with the Harry Cape end of 2004. Which I'm not saying people back then were a ticket caveman. I'm just saying that publishers thought we were like that, and that kind of made me have a twinge of anger in my heart. You know, all the pretty lights out over there, just all the beacons I place. Lots of them over there. Nowhere else. Here we go. Did you guys want? Sorry, you hear me laughing once in a while. I'm just imagining a funny moment. Wait, and not only 5 minutes later, you're in bed with her. Bed with a sin. I'm just find kind of funny. Moments where characters, like, even nowadays, like, people do stuff like, I saw nothing! Like, accidentally walked in someone's apartment, saw something they shouldn't have seen, and then walk away saying, I saw nothing! And do note, I listened to the end, and I would generally, heck, follow the Quatria Project Horizon was the first follow the Quatria story I listened to, and actually made me reevaluate my thought on the villains and the good guys. Heck, most of the stories make me rethink my evaluation on what the villain's motives, what they're doing was. Heck, another story that also makes me reevaluate it, it the hero's doing because it's the right thing to do, or because it's their pride speaking, and nothing else. What, what not of all Quetria story, but another Pony War story called Upheaval, both Breaking Point and Reckoning, which I really like listening to. It really turns stuff on my head, and do know my brain does have two sections, so I can keep fan-made stuff far, far away from actual things, so I don't accidentally like say this. Wait, and Rainbow Dash a psychopathic killer murdering fools? Oh, that confusion? No, my brain works so it knows basically when to basically compare one thing to another. And do note, guys, I was not the. Do note, guys, before you say, why not Flutterbat? I generally want to see Flutterbat again. That was a cool thing. Heck, I'm. You might can say a brony new, but heck, hey, it kind of. It was actually kind of awesome seeing the bat ponies. I saw it all the way through, and I have to admit with some shame that I thought of a character who can either be basically a character you can basically slot in any time period, and he fits the narrative perfectly. Well, I made two of them. My first one I made was named. Oh, I almost fell off. My first pony I thought up in my head, is named Crimson Blade. His cue mark? Well, basically a sword or fire. Basically a sword with black magic surrounding it, with dropping blood off it. He always carries around him his sword. He names Crimson Drinker because he enchants it so any time that its sword hits a pony and gets blood drenched onto it, it absorbs that blood. You might think Moonsteel, from Fall to Quetria timeline. And yeah, you can basically have his thing basically be anything in which fit the narrative. Like, you can have him be a raider in Fall to Quetria, a raider war boss, and it would fit the narrative of how he'd not challenge. He is frequently challenged, but no one is smart or dumb enough to try to go one-on-one with a war boss, because his unique blade can drain their souls. There's some moments I really like, guys. The character was originally meant for Fall Quetria, but I realized he could fit so many other stories, like what I made up, which is a MOP Warhammer 40k crossover. Anytime I do one of these MOP and another universe's crossovers, I only bring one faction over because it gets a little convoluted when ponies are asked basically to fight several factions at once. So I keep it to one faction. Yeah, the faction might be slightly sad at, that I only have one faction instead of the chaotic stuff, but I like stories that make some logic and sense. I mean, come on, how many times in the known universe have one species found another species and then found out that species had several other groups that already found them? I basically keep it simple, but logical. I have chaos forces, and my character Crimson Bladed in there. The story goes basically that a pony town settlement was cut off from the rest of Equestria. It was built during when the Crystal Empire was still, well, not at war and wasn't, abracadabra. I'll do my magic trick. Poof. Which I but he also has his wife, and they have a, well, before I had, well, Casey. So I imagine first a daughter. So the story has a filly. You can't change the filly to a young colt. Kind of ironic because, you know, this happened first in their abandoned mine. Well, not abandoned mine, more like a mine that's still operational. The town had to quickly make itself after basically having the biggest, harshest blizzard for, how long the Crystal Empire had been gone. The town was made before King Sombra became power. So the town has a large group of earth ponies and pegasi. Unicorns are here, but not that much. Crimson Bladed a unicorn. Most time it had each group had the basically go when, well, the deadliest blizzard hit the town. Most of the town pony, well, most of them died, though they have their own problem to deal with. Heck, the town has 10 different blacksmiths. It's all in that town. On F1s. So, you might think that the town is very productive. Well, yes. For two reasons. One, the town has to be productive because of several creatures and monsters that frequently attack the town at once. One of the creatures is that it's indigenous to their location, and it's the frost wolves, which are basically Timberwolf's colder cousin. Did you get the pun? That was a bad joke. Did you get the pun? Of cold. Old. Old. Because literally the frost wolves are pretty terrifying because they have several. They have the ability of the timber wolves regenerating themselves after, well, basically being torn to pieces or branches. And you know, normal swords and weaponry cannot hurt them. Well, they can. It just takes a long time to actually damage. It's just a fragment since, well, duh, they made out the toughest. Because, well, they made out ice. A sword against. It can be done, it just takes a while. And they also have several other creatures they have to deal with. Which swords can damage. It takes shorter, but a couple of people actually found ways to make metals and resources that actually can last pretty long against both the frost wolves and the several other creatures that live there. Not frost. Yes, frost wolves. I almost called them blizzard wolves. You know, they do. Since they're so far up north that you might likely consider them Yakistan. No, they aren't. It may look like that, but actuality, they're 300 miles away from that area. And you know, the town had to make its own equipment and resources just to keep surviving. Heck, every hut has a pretty good invention by one of its ponies during the 300 year or however long 1,000 year blizzard. The blizzard only goes away during short time periods, since the Crystal Empire had been abracadabrated itself into basically the realm of shadows. Well, kind of, which I have to admit, it's kind of a cool magic trick. But getting off topic, the ponies is there. A young blacksmith is thought of a unique idea because, well, what should say this? The mine produced a lot of materials, but a lot of the materials was with iron and quartz because they were right to a mountain that was 3 meters, 300 meters, 30 meters away from the village. It's a short trot and a wagon carriage, but they need to be protected. So each one of those basically caravans in there basically guarded by 2 Pegasus guards and 3 Earth ponies. They only had spears and crossbows. At their town, they have much more durable, stronger varieties of the crossbows that can actually do significant damage against a frost. Well, one hit with one of those bolts from the town's guard towers, and that frost wolf is not going to be getting up anytime soon. here's how much they're not going to be getting up anytime soon when they get hit with one of those bolts. 4 days. 4 pony days is for the thing to just get back up. After that thing, they learned their lesson and, well, scamper off into the howling winds. Since the town is very much cut off from the rest of Equestria because, well, giant bloody blizzard, the town had to develop its own culture, heritage, and anything. So it did, sparking 3 different churches that always fight amongst each other according to what they believe. Seriously, this thing gets once in a while out of hand so much that literally once in a while they had to send out the heavier duty guards to stop them. And average it's well, the town's first name was Greenhoof because it was a pretty good place to grow lots of unique and rare food. The town prospered during, well, when the Crystal Empire was around, but then we changed its name to Frosthoof because, well, because the dang gold. It's not a good idea to name your town Greenhoof when you're freaking freezing to death. And with the 3 churches always fighting, average is guard pony, both Pegasus Unicorn or Earth Pony guard, have a thick, tough leather barding on, with thick wool woven into and in between the fabric, so they can stay up and about. The more heavier duty varieties looks similar, but actuality it's heavily different. They have metal barding on, and not many guards up there wear metal barding because, well, who would want to wear metal barding during basically a blizzard? Not a good idea. So they have heavy barding in basic. Their normal troopers have what they considered tissue paper amongst royal guards, but them it's barding. Amongst heavier troopers, they have considered what it's royal guards. Basically, their level of armor, but to them is heavier because, well, said the mine produced a lot of iron and quartz. Lots of that and it's made. Heck, their tools are either made of iron with quartz handles, or the other way around. Not that much wood can be produced. Most stuff would go into making lots of houses and huts. You can find Greenhoof huts and houses in the center of the city. But since the city population was always growing, it could be sorry. Always growing, they had to basically make more huts and houses. So they started using the stone and cobblestone they got from the mine. Because, well, mines produce a lot of resources if you want to or not. So innermost city it called Greenhoof, while the outermost it called Frozen. It called Frosthoof. Oof. And they had to go. Heck, you can even find some of the old watchtowers that the old city had in the most inner part. But going out, that you see the more brand new varieties made out brickstone, stone, and cobblestone. Since they've been cut off from Equestria so long, they haven't gotten that much improvement. They have got improvements on their weaponry and art, or how to take care of stuff, and are pretty good back-breaking laborers. Since they're cut off from Equestria, they don't have any fancy technology or anything like that. Instead, what they have is basic. Basically, the most, since the town, what should say this? The medical staff, they know a bunch of old herbal and stuff that helped them during the winter days. Not so much. It's considered to medical ponies of Equestria is horrid and barbaric, but it helped the town against frostbite. I did other stuff. Seriously, their medical practices on basically how to treat a patient when they have frostbite. Put them in front of a oven and cross their fingers, praying to one of their several gods, basically. Please let him live. Please let him live. Please let him live. Over and over and over again. The patient recover, then they thank their god, not Celestia. Enough. There is a church dedicated to her called the Church of Faithful, but every other church fights them. Most of the other churches believe that it was Celestia who forsaken them to a life of withering, freezing death. While the Church of the Faithful vehemently agrees against all these other claims. There is the Church of the Nightmare, which is basically a religious group worshipping Nightmare Moon. It was a odd church, to say the least. Most ponies don't even bat a second glance about church, but the other two churches, it's glare daggers at it, amongst fighting themselves and fighting other churches. They are the most three powerful churches in my MOP universe. And here's where chaos comes in. Yes, the Warhammer group I put in, it's chaos. It's the chaos gods and their groups. One day, basically, Crimson Blade and his wife were hard at work, collecting lots of coal and resources to basically keep themselves going and not freeze to death. One of them hit a wall and it crumbled down. Crimson Blade jumped in front of his wife and pulled up a shield to protect her, cause mine collapses does occasionally happen. He thought that was happening, so he defended her from basically what he thought was a mine collapsing. After the collapse happened and the dust settled, he realized very quickly and turned off his shield and turned bubble shield off that his wife just discovered an ancient old temple. They went in and looked around the place. They found figure god, four statue gods, which confuddled them because they looked at all of them and none of them match any of the gods they that any of the churches believed in. None of them match any of the others. And they put statues outside their own churches to show how much faith they have in their gods, which confused them for a while. But then when Crimson Blade went up to one of the statues to check it out even closer, he realized something. They felt some. They basically heard someone talking. Well, several voices actually talking, and it felt like to them, the voices were just settling on top of their beings. It made them both shudder. Crimson Blade asked in a sharp tone, "What is this? And who is talking? Is this another prank? I'll hit one of you. With my pickaxe. With my pick sword." Yes, a pick sword is basically half pickaxe, half sword. Just only unique to Frost Hoof and Green Hoof. Pretty useful against Frost Wolves and other creatures. The beings basically talked again, and it made them both shudder even more violently than last time. The being said this: "Who am I?" That would be too harsh to say. We'll just give you our names. The names that the Chaos Gods then were followed: Korn, Zinch, Slash, and Nurgle. They said to the two ponies, "We are the four Chaos Gods." Which, Crimson Blade laughed at. Their reply was, "You laugh at us?" Crimson Blade replied with, "No, we already have a chaos creature. We don't need any more." Or, they asked, "What chaos creature?" You know, right, Discord? Or their reply was, "Discord?" And they say it with a puzzle in their tone that made even him. He says, "Yeah, Discord. You're the creature of chaos. Us, we don't need any more. Or Discord or draconic beings." They all replied with, "We are not Discord, your variety of a chaos being. Huh, his chaos is more tame than ours. Toy." What a chaos creature he is. Toy. Each of the chaos gods laughed with what they laughed with funniness going entirely through their body and everything. And then they decide, well, we don't need any more draconic wits. Well, let's show them what we look like. Each of them showed what they look like right in front of the two, which shocked both of them. Their statues of themselves came alive. Ivan basically jumped down, displaying their colors on them. Vroom. Each of them were pretty good at what they do. Even caught Crimson Blade off guard. Alright. He said, well. They said all together, well, with this what you were expecting when you said you don't mean any more draconic beings? His reply was, no, I did not think of that. So, he based Crimson Blade, the Chaos God showed what they looked like, and allowed the two to basically do it, and gave them an ultimatum that they literally had no choice in. It was either pray to our gods and devote yourself to one of our causes, or, well, basically get pulled into one of their realms and be lost forever. Crimson Blade and wife both looked at each other and then said, agreed. So they started worshipping and praying the Chaos Gods. Both Zinch and Nurgle were distasted by them and left, basically putting their statues back in place and leaving them. But Korn and Slanesh did not leave, instead granting both of them a mark of chaos. They both hissed with a little bit of pain and agony, but after that, their pain and agony was gone, and they looked on themselves. They both were very surprised to see basically on their coats a mark of chaos. Crimson Blade got the mark of Korn, a bigger one, and a mark of Zinch, a much smaller one, while his wife got the complete opposite, a mark of not a Zinch, Slanesh. A big Slanesh on his wife and a small bit of Korn. Once they both then realized that these, after only a little pain and even the other required even more stuff than just worship us and we'll give you a mark to show that you worship us. So they fell straight into chaos immediately, pledging their allegiances to both Korn and Slanesh. Korn and Slanesh opened up their portals and gate, but they required a bit of magic from Crimson Blade and his wife if to open them up. So they did. They poured a steady stream of magic that both Chaos Gods used to open up their gates to their worlds. And they showed to what their worlds looked like. Which both were amazed and very proud to see. Both of them were very surprised, meek and pretty taken back. All the emotions of you were caught completely off guard by just seeing something that looked so barbaric, but so also at the same time so right at the same time. So the battle, which is this, they both fell the chaos side immediately after seeing this. And then fled themselves according to Slanesh completely, allowing their magic Corn and Celeste both handed them a part of their magic, basically our chaos powers. And their chaos powers basically mixed with their magic. Crimson Blade basically became Corn group, while his wife basically became more and Celeste its troopers. Originally, they thought of how to basically convert the entire town. The Crimson Blade wanted to take it by force, but his wife's more subtler plan won out. The two would slightly bump heads, but they both cared for each other so much that their bump heads would just get them with a little argument, not anything else big and rash. Oh. So much that one group it prepared to rip the relationship in two, which would be kind of a bit terrifying for both of them. So, so his wife more subtler, quieter strategy won out. Instead of taking the entire town by force, which would be pretty bad, instead they would abduct a couple of ponies, convert them to chaos forwards, and basically plant sleeper agents into the towns and everywhere. And the strategy worked. Ponies one minute would disappear, one day would disappear, and then the next day they would reappear, just slightly a bit worn. But aside from that, they look completely like their original selves. And they converted both unicorns, earth ponies, and Pegasus into the group. During they both agreed on another strategy, the day-night raids. During daytime, his wife owns an establishment for a luxury spa to help those ponies chillax and wait, because working in a mine or guarding all day, every day, gets a bit painful, so you need to, have a place to chillax and get your muscles to stop clenching or tensing up every minute. So his wife's spa helped that part. But when she returned and basically did basically a company basically mandatory slight time off, she took all employees to the old Chaos Temple, where Crimson Blade waited by the entrance. They were a bit confused, but after a little bit of coaching from their boss, and do note, all the mayors there all knew the boss well. They were best friends for life, so they didn't expect anything. But after they felt something was slightly off, one of them questions why we're in the cave and what is this place? Crimson Blade's wife then replied with, "Well, you're going to see what me and my husband been doing most of our time down here." And they revealed to the mayors, as all the mayors that worked for, which were 12 spa mayors, have worked with Crimson Blade wife, basically what they found. And do note, they felt a little bit confused, but after feeling the slight calm magic of both Ash and the violent rage magic from Corn, and were a little confused. It was heavily on that part there. Sorry. Sorry, didn't have coffee. They asked about boss, what is going on and what is that magic we're feeling? After 3 basically days down that cave where both their boss, us, both Crimson Blade and their boss basically broke all 15, not 15, 12 mayors, broke them and rebuilt them to serve the Chaos Gods. They did now with a new purpose in life. Serve the Chaos Gods as it was necessary. Heck, Crimson Blade and wife, even during after when they're not busy trying to basically convert the town into a chaos town, spend time with their foe, and their foe basically was influenced by the chaos powers. So when she was at age and to join a group in cult, she decided to figure out where mommy and daddy went. And when she found them basically worshipping praying to a group of basically statue beings, she would basically caught, but she then started praying to the chaos forces and they gave her the mark of equal. The 2 chaos symbols that were equal parts, they were basically normal sized chaos marks on her because, well, she would basically own up to join the group and she became part of the Church of the Chaos. His wife, during daytime, Crimson Blade wife and her staff tried to basically nonchalantly mention the cult. Of joint ponies. His wife is talented with relocation and distraction magic. Most of her employees she have a magic spell designed originally to help people chillax, but now it being used to basically twist their minds and wills toward the parts of the chaos gods. And they do so, while looking very kind and positive as possible. During daytimes, his wife, Crimson Blade wife, basically converts Pony and Chaos. During night time at 12 p.m., they close up shop. And at 12 p.m., her husband begins his job. During night times when Crimson Blade time it up, he calls all the Chaos troopers and forces that he met, it's old friends and stuff who fought valiantly with him and are loyal to him, even if he a Chaos trooper, attack their town, basically making night raids. Their objective is simple: do some damage, and Crimson Blade made sure his group know this: do damage, but don't attack and kill any of the innocents. They all agreed. Attacking innocent families and foals and colts, attacking innocent mares, stallions, colts, and fillies were not a good idea. Yeah, they fight. They do these every 12 p.m. During his first raid, he wanted to keep himself pretty hidden amongst his army, so he gave himself a fake name, so he can say this during the town, so they don't know who this pony is with several other ponies. Don't Crimson Blade was a master at making armor and equipment. Good thing that temple had a very ancient old blacksmith in pretty good areas, even a torture room. But after and they after basically 3 nights of doing the exact same thing, during their fourth night raid, they decided to change up their strategy a bit because the garrison there got pretty wise on where the attacks are going to be coming from. They changed their tactics. It's still the same time period, everything, but their new tactics now allow them to now kidnap stallions, mares, foals, and colts. Kidnap them and run toward their location. All of them knows the location of where the mine is, and basically once they enter the mine and enemy guards are on their tails, they split up, going through the twisty narrow tunnels and pathways all the way through. Almost all the time, the guards garrisons give up because they can't chase them. There are too many twisting, winding hallways that they might head into another direction. So the guards always head back and recount the foes, stallions, basically count all their civilians and kids they have. You know, all the mares and stallions who are part of this group of coalition, group of chaos troopers and soldiers, the colts, the fillies, and the mares, colts, fillies, mares, and stallions who all were part of this group, even their family joined it willingly. They joined the cult willingly, either by slight influence by the chaos forces, or just because screw it. All three options were pretty bad, so why not this group? It sounds better, and relatively it is better. They only had 25% of the 235 I've during when they started. The numbers kind of grew. It was only Crimson Blade and 12 of converted it basically mares and stallions into chaos side, but after that they started, well, basically doing I want to say this. After that, they with 35% of sorry, beach grammar, 5% of the town out on the chaos side started influencing stuff, and started putting bloody sleeper agents in. First, starting with the youngest group first that have no idea what their future holds. They started starting Colts and Philly to be basically sleeper agent priestess and stuff, trying converting most Colts and Phillies to their side. And it bloody worked. No one can know which group it is taking their Phillies and Colts towards one, because they wear one of the three church's main robes. The night, the Colt of the Nightmare have dark blue robe with azure iron shape of a slit. The Colt of the True Colt basically have uniforms and stuff that have brilliant golden trimming on them and are completely pure white, with a fading ray sun on the hood, on where the cape at the bottom begins. And the symbol in each one. Once they're inducted into the Chaos group and basically start bloody joining up like dominoes, when they return back to their parents and told them the amazing thing, but also the Phillies and Colts are actually also doing, or slightly influencing their parents to join the group. It was part of their group join. They can do several tries to basically try to influence both their parents to basically join the cult, or become sleeper agents and basically influence them to join the cult. And it worked. 30% of the town was already sleeper agents and ready to join the cult. On their basically 12th raid on the town, you know, Colts, Stallions, Mares, and Phillies were all part of the raiding group. The Colts and Phillies were part of their own separate raiding group. They were basically ordered to grab all their sleeper agents and bring them toward the town. So they did. While the main group fought outside the city to keep all the enemy troopers occupied by trying to defend basically the city front gate where they're coming from, all the Phillies and Colts basically ran inside the city while everyone was basically distracted. Say the secret phrase word for all their sleeper agents. They all the sleeper agents basically all activated at once and basically grabbed whatever they can from their homes and everything. And I do mean everything. And basically went out to the eastern gate, where basically a smaller Chaos Force group was waiting for them to get through. Once they saw the civilians and once they saw the civilians and troopers and stuff running out of the city through the west gate, they knew their sleeper agents were activated. So three of them stood in a circle, activated their spell, and basically ripped open a portal for all the civilians to go through. All the Phillies and Colts who are part of their raiding group told every pony that go through. They were a bit hesitant, but after seeing a guard scream, "There they are! Get them!" and ran towards them, they all panicked and basically all simultaneously agreed silently that running through the portal was better than getting basically thrown in jail. So they all ran toward the portal and entered. All of them went in. Three ponies then, after last Cultic Philly went through the portal, deactivated their spell, and all simultaneously teleported back to headquarters. And basically had one. They got half the guard and half of every group and unit and everything. And here I will end the video in my story. Anyways, guys, this 11 always Word Hong Kong from the Epic Line Saplings, and go watch TVA channel on the TVA. Bye.